50 here. As you noticed, I've got a new studio. We moved, and if you haven't noticed, I have a new baby daughter, so she needs a little more space, and I got a little more too. I'm here to talk about this guitar. I talked about it before, the Eart Strat style guitar, but I made some mods and I wanted to talk to you guys about it. So I've done a lot of mods to this guitar. The only thing that's original now is just this neck and this body, and I kept some of the electronics to the switch and some of the wiring, but besides that, everything else is pretty much new. So I guess let's start out from the bottom here. This trem is a Vega trem. Probably heard some other YouTubers talk about it. I think it is a really great trem. Gives you a lot of freedom to do like flutters, dive bombs. It's not quite as much range as a real Floyd Rose, but it does keep the tuning pretty stable actually for whatever you do. But that being said, it's still not a locking trem, so you're gonna still have to make some tuning adjustments if you're using it a lot, but it's quite good, better than any other trem I've had on any guitar. For the installation of this trem, it was pretty easy. They give you a lot of parts, different adapters to go with whatever guitar setup you've got, so it's pretty easy to just swap out with the other trem that came with this guitar. The one thing I will say about it is when adjusting the height of these saddles, these little hex key things here, after a while they get stuck and won't turn anymore. I would have liked if I could get this action just a little higher, because it's pretty low right now, which is good, but it's almost a little too low. Sometimes I'll get a little bit of fret buzzing here, and yeah, so I also just have it a little higher, pulled up a little higher because of that. One thing on the Vega trem and just the tuning stability of this guitar, this nut, they say is bone. I feel like it's not, but it's getting a little sticky here, I think, so I just filled it in with some graphite from a mechanical pencil, and it's worked a lot better since then. So that's one thing to note if you're using like a trem with this often. It's pretty much like every millennial guitarist. I'm a big fan of Tim Henson, and this is my budget version of his signature guitar, the THBB10. Tried to use his pickups, the gold hardware, get the stainless frets, locking tuners, and it cost me maybe about half as much as that guitar, which is like maybe $1,500 now. So I put a black pickguard on here. I thought that just looked a little cooler than the white, especially if I was going with gold hardware. This is just like a standard replacement Strat pickguard, so it'll fit. The only thing is you have this little pocket here for the trem adjustment that you don't have on most Strats, so I just cut that part out, but you could probably get something custom that includes this little truss rod cutout if you wanted to, but yeah, a regular Strat pickguard will go right on these things. So the bridge pickup, this is a Sir SSV. I bought it before I really tried it, but I heard some clips online and what kind of people said about it, and it is like a brighter sounding humbucker, I would say, but it still has a decent low end and mid range, but I really like kind of that brighter end, almost fizzy type tone, especially when you start to drive it, so I think this is a good fit for me. And these neck and bridge pickups are the DiMarzio Notorious, Tim Henson's signature single coil pickups. Really like these. They definitely do the polyphia sound, as probably you heard earlier, and just that nice glassy Strat sound, which I really like. One thing about these are actually Telecaster size pickups, so I kind of have them set right in the middle here of this Strat pickguard, but by themselves, they don't actually fit in these holes, so I kind of had to maneuver them in there to get them exactly where I wanted them. But they do sound really good. Other thing is I used to have a Strat pickup right here, and they never really balanced that well. I never really liked my in-between position for neck and middle when I had that other pickup. So, but they work really well together, I think, to get you that nice spongy in-between tone when you're in that like second position. So last thing on this guitar was these Locking Go-Go tuners that I got, which are gold as well. Really like these. They've been really stable. It's really easy to do string changes now. I feel like I need locking tuners on all my guitars now, just because it's so convenient. Only thing here is this headstock is like a little bit thicker, I think, than your standard Strat or some other guitar headstocks. So because of that, these sit a little low, which I'm okay with because it pulls the strings down a little more. But as it is, I feel like I almost didn't get them all the way through here. So that's just something to consider if you're gonna replace tuners in this guitar. So how difficult was this to mod? Not very. This fits pretty much any Strat part. At least for this Vega Trem, like I said, they made it easy because they have a lot of different adapters and ways to fit into a lot of different types of guitars. And then I didn't include the soldering because you don't want to watch me fail at soldering for like an hour, but it was relatively easy just to wire everything up down here underneath. They give you a pretty decent amount of space. It's not shielded. That's one thing maybe I could do down there to improve this, but there's space to put pretty much anything down there. So post-mod, what do I think of this guitar? I really like it. This is my favorite guitar. This is my go-to guitar, generally whenever I want to play. It does everything pretty well. I remember the old pickups, they were like okay at doing most Strat things, but these, I think, really take it to the next level. The neck feels really great. I love these stainless steel frets. They feel really smooth. And like I said, the action's a little low, but it does make it really easy to play, and I really like that. So for the money, I feel like this is really good, even just as it is, but if you can turn it into a mod platform, I think that's even better, and you can make this a really great guitar. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments below. I'm happy to talk about this guitar, and then can get to some playing samples.